I'm going to be the entertainment.
Go, Jenny.
No, seriously, my friend Rose, who never fails to come through for me, signed me up. So I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to tell you some stories. So you can laugh, or you can not, but I'm not going to pay you if you do. So it's just free, okay? So I thought I would tell you about my childhood. Larry's recording this because there's a contest on Facebook from this woman who I think is really funny. So I'm going to submit this tape. If I win, I'm going to donate the money to help revamp the youth area. So it'd be in your best interest to laugh really hard, because then the money won't come out of your pocket. So I read the rules for this contest, and they'll fly you out there, and they'll pay for your accommodations, but man, they're not going to buy my food. I don't understand. I'm like, just take me to a buffet. It'll be all right. It's a one-time price. Anyway, I understand why she's not buying our food. I wouldn't either. So many of you know that I grew up really poor. I mean really poor. Like bologna was a big deal if you got meat that week, because we couldn't afford it. But I will tell you, the worst smell on the planet is Sunday afternoon when you got home and they were going to make dinner and they fried the bologna. That is the worst smell on the planet. And y'all are laughing because you know what I'm talking about. You young people are not laughing because we never put you through that. And it was the worst smell. Like, you can't make lunch meat any worse than it already is, but you can, because you fry it. And bologna has to be cut. It's so bad, it has to be cut so it won't roll up like a bowl. You know what I'm talking about. And my dad would get really creative, and he would take the little Vienna sausage that you get, and he would slice them. First of all, he drank the juice. That's how poor we were, because you didn't want to waste it. Yeah, I hear you grumbling. That's nasty. He would drink the juice, he would split it down the middle, and then he would put it on mayonnaise and fry it. Ugh, I never want to be that poor again in my life, but I never want to smell that smell again in my life. And some of you like fried bologna, and I mean no offense to you, and you probably eat it voluntarily. It wasn't a choice at my house. So that's probably the difference. And as a rule, I don't like any warmed lunch meat. It's just, if you have to endure that. And I was telling some folks at church camp the other day how on Saturday nights, me and my cousin, we would load up. There were about 5 or 6 of us, and we lived next door to the church. My uncle was the preacher. My cousins were the worship team, if you would call it worship, and we would be forced to go to the nursing home on Saturday nights and perform. And I was thinking, man, here are these homely little Pentecostal kids rolling up with a guitar, a tambourine, because if you're Pentecostal, you have a tambourine, and our little twangy country voices out in the country, and we'd go down to the nursing home and we would perform all the favorites. And the whole time we're there, I'm thinking, man, haven't these people suffered enough? They're stuck here, and this is their entertainment. Like, this is the best we can do for them. I figured, I really thought they'd suffered enough. So, that's why I can't go to the cowboy church. No offense to you who go to the cowboy church, but it just takes me back to Saturday night at that nursing home. And I'm just not that old yet. I decided, my sister and I were having a conversation about the nursing home the other day, and she said, Jenny, do you think when we're that age and we go to the nursing home that some little kid's going to come in and sing like the worship that we know today, like Good, Good Father and things like that? Like, that's going to be our hymnal. And I was like, oh man, I never even thought of that, but yeah, quite possibly it could. Growing up, really poor too. And I grew up in like this cult kind of setting. We couldn't cut our hair. We couldn't wear pants. We couldn't wear jewelry. We couldn't wear makeup. And I grew up in the 80s, man. Cyndi Lauper, Madonna. Like, I could not wear the fashion. And we were so poor. The elderly ladies of the church gave us some clothes. So, very, very homely. And we had to wear the long sleeve, long skirts. So, because we couldn't do all that, we also didn't have television. And when you don't have TV and you live out in the country, you get really creative ways to torture your little brother and little sister. And one of our favorite things to do was when our parents would leave, is we would go get our parents' clothes and put them out, like just drop them on the floor. And when our little brother and sister would get up from their nap, we'd be like, the rapture happened, we didn't go. As a matter of fact, they actually even still talk to me. They let me babysit their kids now. And I try to tell my parents, it's kind of your fault. If you'd given us a TV, you wouldn't have to deal with all these discipline problems that I present for you. However, I really like to destroy things and put them back together, but then I wasn't so good with the putting back together. But I always told them, if you would have let me have a TV, this wouldn't have been a problem. When we would go to my grandmother's house, my sister, who was very rebellious and still is, she would sit and watch TV. And I remember I would just sit on the floor behind her and pray. And I would pray really loud. Jesus, don't let her go to hell for watching TV. Jesus, don't let her go to hell for... And I'd sing along to whatever was on, and then I'd go back to praying. Jesus, don't let her go to hell for watching TV. But when I got to 4th grade, they put us in public school. Why they put us in public school? That was just a new form of torture to put us in public school. After we'd been homeschooled and in this Christian private school where we were told we weren't allowed to be friends with anybody other than the kids that we went to school with because of that verse in the Bible, you can't be unequally yoked. So it was drilled in our heads, you cannot be friends with anybody other than people you go to church with. So, here comes homely Jenny in her homely clothes, the height of the 80s, to public school. And of course, it's a small town, so kids would come up to you, introduce themselves, and I would immediately say, I can't be your friend because you're going to hell for wearing those pants. Surprisingly enough, nobody really wanted to be my friend after that. Luckily, mid-year, we moved to a new school, and I think Jesus spoke to me and said, don't say that again. You can think that, but don't say that. So I did actually end up with a few friends before I graduated, and just because I did bad things still in junior high and in high school. But I was really quiet, so I never got caught. And that's the key. That's the key. Just don't get caught. Okay? I don't think I really have any more to tell you. I will save that for the next get-together. So, thank you.